Now we are going to discussing about the sixth step of signal acquisition and tracking. The sixth step is carrier phase tracking loop. Carrier phase tracking loop. The purpose of tracking carrier phase or the purpose of tracking carrier phase. The purpose of tracking carrier phase or to obtain a phase reference for coherent detection of the GPS biphase modulated data. Biphase modulated data. The purpose of tracking carrier phase are to obtain a phase reference for coherent detection of a phase reference for coherent detection of GPS biphase modulated data. The GPS biphase modulated data. Provide precise velocity measurements. Via phase rate. The third one is obtain integrated Doppler for rate aiding of the code tracking loop. Obtain integrated Doppler for rate aiding of the code tracking loop. And the fourth one is obtain precise carrier phase pseudo range measurements in high accuracy receivers. Obtain precise carrier phase pseudo range measurements in high accuracy receivers. Tracking of carrier phase is usually accomplished. Tracking of carrier phase is usually accomplished by a phase lock loop. A Costas type PLL or its equivalent must be used to prevent loss of phase coherent. Induced by the biphase data modulation. On GPS carrier. A Costas type PLL or its equivalent must be used to prevent loss of phase coherent induced by the biphase data modulation. On the GPS carrier. So this is the diagram for Costas PLL or phase lock loop. You need to see the diagram carefully. This is the Costas diagram. So in that you need to see that so NCO is numerically controlled oscillator. You know it, you have to remember. See here we have a 5 multipliers. Assume that this is the first one. Here you need to apply 2 input signals. The first one is IF input signal. The second input signal is numerically controlled oscillator signal. These two are going to applying to the first multiplier, which will be generate the multiplication combination of these two or multiplication of these two inputs. So here you have a second multiplier. The first input is IF input signal and the second one is 90 degrees phase shift with numerically controlled oscillator signal. That output you will get it here. These two outputs will be connecting to the third multiplier and fourth multiplier. Okay, here you need to use the second input for these third and fourth multipliers, a punctual or pseudo random noise code. Then here we will get the product 3 and 4 or multiplication output 3 and 4 will get it here. You need to apply these to bit synchronization for synchronizing the bits. After that you need to apply this is in phase with the input signal. This is the quadrature with input signal. You need to connect these two to your phase detector, and the phase detector will generate the which will be detecting the phase of your output signal. What will get it from that you need to connect to your loop filter. Okay, here we will get the output navigation data. Navigation data output will get it here. So coming to this loop filter, for loop filter you need to give your alternate phase detectors, quadrature or in phase 2 input signals. Output will get it here, that you need to connect here this loop filter. So that only here we are showing this to attenuation 2 or I comma q mod of 2 pi, that will get it from this diagram. This will be functioning like a Costas. This is the basic block diagram of a Costas loop. So you know the function of Costas or phase lock loop. We already studied from the LDAC. You need to see the basic function of this in the coming slide. So we have in that block diagram numerical controlled oscillator, which will be converts IF signal received from the receiver into a complex baseband signal. This numerically controlled oscillator will be able to convert IF signal received from a receiver into a complex baseband signal by multiplying in phase and quadrature phase components. So that only we discussed in the block diagram. We have a in phase components and quadrature phase components of numerically controlled oscillator with the incoming signals. This complex signal is then integrated for every 20 minutes. This complex signal is then integrated for every 20 minutes bit interval to produce a series of phasors. With phase angle equal to phase difference of numerically controlled oscillator output and carrier signal. So that complex signal is integrated for every 20 minutes bit interval into produce a series of phasors. This will be produce a series of phasor diagrams or phasors with phase angle equal to phase difference of numerically controlled oscillator output and carrier signal. That will be equal to these two. This error signal is passed through. This error signal is passed through a low pass filter, to control NCO carrier phase. To control NCO means numerically controlled oscillator. To control NCO carrier phase in order to maintain loop or Costas loop. In order to maintain loop error signal which is equals to 0. Maintain loop error signal equals to 0. Because the Costas loop is unaffected. Because the Costas loop is unaffected by the data modulation. Because the Costas loop is unaffected by the data modulation. It will achieve phase lock. It will achieve phase lock at two stable points. It will achieve phase lock at two stable points where the NCO output phase differs. The NCO output phase differs from that of the signal carrier by either 0 or 180 degrees respectively. Because of Costas loop, it is affected by the data modulation. It will achieve phase lock at two stable points where the NCO output phase differs from that of the signal carrier by either 0 or 180 degrees respectively. This can be seen by considering I is equals to in phase component I equals to A cos theta and quadrature phase component is A sin theta. Here we are going to considering that the in phase component and quadrature phase component, where A is the phasor amplitude, theta is its phase, the signal's phase. Then I into Q is equals to, then I into Q is equals to A square sin theta cos theta. A square sin theta cos theta, that equals to, you need to convert that A square cos theta sin theta into only sin theta. What is the formula for that? The formula for that is, you need to convert cos theta sin theta into only sin. So 1 by 2 1 by 2 A square sin 2 theta. 1 by 2 A square sin theta, sin 2 theta. I into Q is equals to A square cos theta sin theta, that equals to 1 by 2 A square sin 2 theta. Then the next seventh step is bit synchronization. The seventh step is bit synchronization. Before bit synchronization, bit synchronization can occur, the PLL must be locked. Before bit synchronization can be occur, the PLL must be locked to the GPS signal. The PLL must be locked with or locked to the GPS signal. This is accomplished by running the Costas loop. This is accomplished by running the Costas loop in a 1 millisecond integration mode. This is accomplished by running the Costas loop in a 1 millisecond integration mode, where each interval of integration is over one period of the C/A code. Over one period of C/A code, starting and ending at the code epoch. This is accomplished by running the Costas loop in a 1 millisecond integration mode, where each interval of integration is over one period of the C/A code, starting and ending at the code epoch. A simple method of bit synchronization is A simple method of bit synchronization is to clock a modulo 20 counter, with the epochs of the receiver generated reference, C/A code, and record the count each time, the polarity of the integrated output changes. The polarity of the integrator output going to change. So for this method, a simple method of bit synchronization is to clock a modulo 20 counter with the epochs of the receiver generated reference C/A code and record the count each time. The polarity of integrator output changes. A histogram of the frequency of each count. Is constructed, and the count having the highest frequency identifies the epoch that mark the data bit boundaries. A histogram of the frequency of each count is constructed, and the count having the highest frequency identifies the epochs that marks the data bit boundaries. Coming to the last one is 8th step, data bit demodulation. Once bit synchronization has been achieved, a demodulation of data bit can occur. once bit synchronization has been achieved. Once bit synchronization has been achieved, the demodulation of data bits can be occur. Many GPS receivers demodulate the data. Many GPS receivers demodulate the data. Why means the GPS receivers are receiving the data from the GPS satellites, which will be not in the original format, which will be in the modulation format. Even though if it is in weak signal or weak strengthened signal, then the modulators or the transmitters, between transmitter and receiver, you have a channel section. In that, we are going to increase in the weak signal strength. So for that reason, the GPS receivers itself, only we have this demodulation block. The receiver demodulates the data by integrating the in-phase component of the baseband phasor. Many GPS receivers demodulate the data by integrating the in-phase component, of the baseband phasor generated. The baseband phasor generated by a Costas loop. Which tracks the carrier phase. Each data bit is generated by integrating the I component. Each data bit is generated by integrating the I component over a 20 milliseconds interval from one data bit boundary to the next data bit boundary. Each data bit is generated by integrating the I component, in-phase component, over 20 milliseconds interval from one data bit boundary to the next data bit boundary. The Costas loop causes a polarity ambiguity. The Costas loop causes a polarity ambiguity of the data bits, that can be resolved by observation of subframe preamble. In the navigation message data. The Costas loop causes a polarity ambiguity of the data bits that can be resolved by observation of the subframe preamble in the navigation message data. The next topic is extraction of information for navigation solution. After data demodulation has been performed, the essential information in the signal, needed for the navigation solution is at hand. this information can be classified into the following three categories. This information can be classified into the following three categories. First one is the information needed to determine the signal transmission time. The information needed to determine signal transmission time. And the second category is the information needed to establish the position and velocity of each satellite. And the third one is the various pseudo range and Doppler measurements made by the receiver. The first one is you need to determine the signal transmission time. You need to determine the signal transmission time in the first step. In the second step, you need to establish the velocity and position of each and every satellite. Velocity and position of each and every satellite. And the third one is you need to measure various pseudo and Doppler measurements by the receiver, made by the receiver. These are the three categories for information, extraction of information. The first one is signal transmission time. The first one is signal transmission time. Signal transmission time information. In Z count, we saw that the receiver can establish the time of transmission of the beginning of each subframe. We saw that the receiver can establish the time of transmission of the beginning of each subframe of the signal and of the corresponding C by A code approach that coincide with each other. Here we are going to establishing the time of transmission of the beginning of each and every subframe of the signal and of the corresponding C by A code approach that coincide with it, with inside or within it. Since the approaches are transmitted precisely 1 millisecond apart. Since the approaches are transmitted precisely 1 millisecond apart, the receiver labels subsequent C by A code approaches merely by counting them. This enables the determination of the transmission time of any part of the signal. This enables the determination of the transmission time. This enables the determination of transmission time of any part of the signal. Next, ephemeris data. The second step is we need to determine the velocity and position of the each and every satellite. So by using ephemeris data, and the ephemeris data permit the position and velocity of each and every satellite to be computed at the signal transmission time. The ephemeris data permit the position and velocity of each and every satellite to be computed at the signal transmission time. To be computed at the signal transmission time. Then the last category, third one is pseudo range measurements using C/A code. We need to measure the pseudo measurement in GPS system. In GPS system, calculation of three-dimensional position. Calculation of three-dimensional position of a satellite in turn refers to the estimation of range of the satellite. Mathematically, it is computed by multiplying the propagation time of the signal transmitted by satellite. Mathematically, it is computed by multiplying the propagation time of the signal transmitted by satellite to receiver with the speed of light. This procedure of range measurement is inaccurate due to the clock asynchronization between satellite and the receiver. This procedure of range measurement is inaccurate due to the clock asynchronization between the satellite and the receiver. Thus, a clock error is introduced in the range calculation. This type of range measurement is called pseudo range measurement. Is expressed as rho is equals to C into T receiver minus T transmitted. RCVE means received signal. XMIT means transmitted signal. Where RCVE means specific time at which signal is received. Specific time at which signal is transmitted. And TXMIT means specific time at which signal is transmitted. Specific time at which signal is transmitted. And C is nothing but speed of light is the time at which the same portion of the signal is transmitted. You need to see the signal transmissions. In this we have a signal transmission, satellite 1, satellite 2, satellite 3 and 4 to the receiver. What is the clock time, that and all we have in this. You need to see this carefully. Satellite 1, 2, 3 and 4. So from satellite 1, 2, 3 and 4, the receiver will receiving the signal. Once it receives the signal, by default it will able to demodulate the signal. So from that you need to see what is the GPS transmission time of satellite. The GPS transmission time of satellite C/A code approach received immediately to T receive. Here we have a TEZ. TEZ is nothing but transmission time of satellite. 1, 2, 3, 4. C by a code approach received by immediately. T receive. Just need to remember. This is already over. For sake of you only, we are remembering you that. The next, basic positioning equations. Basic positioning equations. So for finding the exact position of each and every satellite, you need to use these positioning equations. If the pseudo range measurements can be made from at least 4 satellites, enough information exists to solve for the unknown positions x and y, z of the GPS user or receiver. And for receiver clock error C, the equations are set up by equating the measured pseudo range to each satellite with corresponding known user to satellite distance plus the distance error due to receiver clock bias rho 1, rho 2 and so on. Rho n is equals to square root of x1 minus x whole square plus y1 minus y whole square plus z1 minus z2 whole square plus cb. So in the equation we have to take from 1 to n, where rho is denotes that the measured pseudo range of in phase, the measured pseudo range of the ith satellite whose position is ECF coordinates at transmitted or transmitter, and n is less than or equal to 4, sorry, greater than or equal to 4 is the number of satellite observed. The unknown in this nonlinear system of equations are the user position XYZ in ECEF coordinates and receive the clock bias. You need to see the diagram, the previous one only. Then we need to discuss selective availability. We have to remember this also. Selective availability was an international degradation of public GPS signals implemented for national security reasons. This SCA is term used to describe the way signals from the GPS satellite in orbit around the Earth are masked with selective availability on the GPS receiver. It is not known what time it really is at the satellite because SCA makes the satellite send the wrong time also. So in May 2000, at the direction of President Bill Clinton, the US government discontinued its use of selective availability in order to make GPS more responsive to civil and commercial users worldwide. The basic difference between GPS and differential global positioning system lies on their accuracy, and the DGPS is more accurate than GPS. The differential global positioning system was internationally designed to reduce the signal degradation. A GPS provides the accuracy about 10 meters, but the DGPS can provide accuracy around 1 meter only, even beyond that 10 centimeters. And the DGPS is an enhancement to the GPS which provides improved the location accuracy in the range of operations of each system from 15 meters nominal GPS accuracy to about 1 to 3 centimeters in case of the best implementations. And GPS is older and more matter and have many more consumer products made for it. GLONASS and Galileo are still in the development phase as what I know, but they are much newer and has higher accuracy. A Galileo is not made mainly for military system and are not controlled by a single country. There are several differences between them, like the number of satellites each system has in its constellation and positional accuracy. But the key difference is country of origin of the GLONASS. GPS is owned by the United States, GLONASS is owned by the Russia Galileo in European Union's project. The Galileo system has a greater accuracy than the current version of the American GPS. For general use, Galileo has an accuracy of less than a meter, but the high accuracy services with encrypted the signal provides position detection down to an accuracy of 20 centimeters. The Galileo system has a greater accuracy than GPS, having an accuracy less than 1 meter when using broadcast ephemeris and 1.6 centimeters when using in real-time corrections for satellite orbits and clocks. So these are all we already discussed. Just you need to remember that. Okay.